Hi, my name's Roger Mays. I'm the head of the theater program here at Chadron State College, and I'm also the director of Once Upon a Mattress. We'd like to welcome you to our feature Behind the Scenes. We're going to be visiting some of the characters that we'll actually have in Once Upon a Mattress and some of the actors that play those characters. They'll tell you about the challenges that they've had, what they find interesting, and if you have questions beyond that, you'll find my name and my email on our website, and I invite you to ask anything you might want to ask after you visited us. Thanks for coming, and welcome to Behind the Scenes.
My character's name is Winifred. The full name is Winifred the Woebegone, and she's very goofy. She comes from the swamps, and she's kind of thrust into this very, very prince and princess atmosphere, and so she kind of gets to show them a little bit of her world. And I would say that my approach to it is just really to have fun with the role and really just explore all the goofy things that I can do, and especially in the songs and dances. It doesn't have to be pretty singing or have to be perfection. It just has to tell a story. Something that's just challenging for me personally, I haven't been in a lot of musicals, so let alone singing full solo songs by myself has definitely been challenging even in front of my peers, so I know that getting in front of that audience is going to be interesting. But I would say just for me personally, the singing part of it has been challenging for me in a good way, though. What is different about this production? I would say the cast size. A lot of the times the shows that we do are a little bit smaller, so it's definitely cool to get to know so many people. And what's nice is people outside of the theater department were also cast, so we get to bring people into our world and kind of show them what we like to do. And that doesn't get to happen as often in smaller productions. I think what's really interesting about this show is that it's directed at so many different types of audiences. We wanted to pick a show that would be family friendly, but would also still draw in college students, adults, pretty much from every part of life. And so I think this show really could be enjoyed by anybody, and I think that's not a common quality in a lot of shows. And so I think I'm excited to be able to show that part of it. I would say for people coming to this show, I just want them to have fun and really just sit there and enjoy it and just kind of take in the spectacle of it and just appreciate it for what it is.
My name's Hannah Sanders. I play Queen Agravain. My approach to this role is pretty much milk it for what it is. She's very manipulative. She's very but she's very needy as well. She just needs her son Dauntless, and in that way she's a little bit of a creeper. And I think that she's very insecure in her rulership. She doesn't trust anyone. I'm just trying to be mean to everybody is what I'm trying to do. I am primarily a singer, and in this one I sing the least amount out of any of the leads, and I have more dialogue than any of the leads. And that's really challenging for me because I consider myself more of a singer than an actress. But it's been fun. It's been really fun to explore my actress side because I've done dialogue, I've done scenes, and I've done plays and stuff where I had dialogue, but mostly my roles have been singing because I would say that's my strongest suit. And so this has been really difficult for me, and it's really expanded my range as far as being an actress goes. I think that they should listen to the dialogue because it's the type of comedy that you might not get right away. It's very punny. You have to listen carefully for that, and you have to listen to the innuendo. There's some innuendo, which I think is kind of fun, because it's for adults and for kids. I think you have to pay more attention to than what's just on the surface of the dialogue and the songs. And the songs are very, very simply written. They're not very complicated, but underneath they're very clever and they're very witty. And so I would say to people to just listen carefully but enjoy it, because there are elements for you to enjoy without having to pay deep attention. But if you pay close attention, you might get a little bit more of a laugh than you expected.
My name is Heather Ann Hicks. I play Lady Larkin, the hopeless romantic in this play. I've always wanted to play that part. I've never gotten to play that part in a play before, so this is awesome, my first time. So I'm kind of taking from other like Disney princesses type thing. That's what I'm trying to put into Lady Larkin, is the very hopeless, helpless damsel in distress, and just, oh, save me. But I'm pregnant in this show. That's the only thing that's not Disney, obviously. And but yeah, it's really how I'm trying to portray my character as, I guess, kind of this quintessential princess. I've been in a lot of musicals, so I can't really say that this is different for me, but something I haven't been in a lot is just plays with dialogue. And so I have found there's a very big difference between doing a musical and doing a play with just dialogue. And for this one, it's been challenging taking on a new type of role. I've had to research the character a little bit differently, and really, because like you saw me in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, I was Sister Woman, the bitch, basically, and I've actually kind of had that role forever. And so the challenging thing for me has been getting into a new character, and that's probably what's been most challenging about this production for me. I kind of did this last year on Theater Day, like when I was in Godspell. We had all the kids sit out in the audience, and they got to ask questions. And one of the things I really wanted to tell them, and I still believe, is try all aspects of theater. Because I started out as a technician, and I still enjoy the technical part of theater, but I really enjoy acting, and I didn't get to experience that until I'm like, well, let's move away from tech for a little while and just try this out. And I discovered I really enjoy it, and I'm pretty good at it, and it's something I think I can do as a career. And so that's something I would definitely tell students, prospective students, and just say, try, get your toes wet, try everything. It's going to be a good show. It's definitely for the whole family. It's a classic fairy tale that a lot of people know, with a couple of twists and everything like that, and I think they'll have a lot of fun and hopefully come back and see it more than once.
My name is James Safaric. The role I'm playing is Dauntless the Drab. The way I'm approaching it is he's very much a little kid at heart, still tied to his mother's apron string, so to speak. And that's kind of the way I'm playing it. And he's also very ignorant of the ways of the world, the birds and the bees, and there's a little number that kind of explains that, and I'm really excited to show you guys that. This is my first musical I've ever done. I came from a very small high school. We didn't do a lot in the way of productions, but I felt like my teacher really prepared me to come to college and work with drama. Some of the things I find a little challenging is just staying in character and reacting to other characters, as opposed to just saying, what am I supposed to do when, just knowing exactly, because that's who I am. I'm not really James up there playing a character. I'm James being Dauntless, or however you want to say it. Right now, I'm just learning, and I think that's the key, is you always want to be a learner. You never want to get to the point where you think that you can just tell people what to do. I mean, even the people that are telling people what to do are always constant learners. So I think the thing is get in whatever situation you're in and just try to get a step above from where you're at all times. Once you get to the next rung, you're like, oh, hey, there's another one up there. So it's always just a learning process. And I think as long as you keep a humble attitude and realize that you're still a student no matter what position you're in, then I think you'll be okay. It's a really fun production, I think, with a lot of laughs, some great musical numbers. We've put together, we've put a lot of work into putting together things, and Roger's really helped us with especially the choreography. This is, like I said, my first time ever doing song and dance type musical theater, and I really think that you'll be pleased with the production. It's for all ages. I think everyone can come to the show and take something from it.
My name is Mike Mamula, and I play the minstrel, and I'm approaching the role like he's the storyteller. Like, he tells the story of the Princess and the Pea, like what's going on. And I'm approaching it more like, storytelling, like getting it like more interacting with the audience and doing, it's kind of like, it's referring back to the character Baloo when I played in the Jungle Book. It's just like that, only with singing. So it helps out a lot since I've already done like a storytelling character, it just helps out because I interact more with the audience than I do with the people on stage for the most part. Like there, some parts but like most part I'm telling people what's going on and who this and that. I think just like interacting with like the new people, like acting with the new people, I think is pretty fun just because like you don't really know, how they act, and you just, get with them and just like you notice how they act and talk and walk in ways, and you're just like, okay. And then like since I'm older, I can just offer them advice of what I've learned from Roger and go that way. And so we've put a lot of hard work in. Like, so I think some people think like because it's a more of a younger crowd show, that there's not much put into it because it's a kid show. Well, not like a kid show, but it's for a younger audience. But they have to know that we put as much time into it as we do a normal play. Like even if it's like a super serious one or a super comedy one or one that's not even a musical, like we put in just as much or even more time in this play than we do in any other play. I think they'll enjoy, hopefully they'll enjoy the songs and like be like, hey, and, just be happy and just relate to every one of the characters. So
my name is Rhett Breedlove, and I play the role of Sir Harry. And the way I've been approaching it is just imagining kind of your knight in shining armor, but with kind of a jerk, tool-ish aspect to him. He's not really someone you love to kind of hate, because he is kind of a jerk. This is actually the first show I've ever had to really sing in. I never for a minute thought that I would get this role. I thought I was just going to come into the audition, sing a little bit, and then that'd be it. But I was really surprised to see that I actually received this role, and it's been really challenging having to do some of the singing. The rehearsing part has always been something really enjoyable. You get to come and grow and dive deeper into your character and watch others do the same. It's just a lot of fun every night. People who should come to this show should just keep in mind, just have fun, because that's what it's all about.
My name is Shannon Smay, and the character I'm playing in Once Upon a Mattress is the Jester. And actually how I usually approach my role as him, I just tend to really loosen up and just kind of set off some steam from anything that happened earlier in the day. And the cool thing about a Jester, we'll see, he's very animated. And so I really think of like a lot of different colorful things. Or one of my basic inspirations, his name is Danny Kaye. He did a Court Jester movie. And he was just so sharp on his movements and everything. So kind of getting that background or having that as a motivation really helps me. With this production, this is probably the one I've worked with the biggest cast, and so it's really crowded a lot of the time. But one of the coolest things is, everybody knows everybody, and a lot of people are new freshmen and all. So it's really helped me get to know a lot of people, and get to know some new faces. And let's see, the dance numbers. This musical is a bit different. I'm not in as many dance numbers as I was, say, with Godspell or musicals in high school and all. But it's my first one that I've had a solo in, a dance solo where I'm alone on stage and all. So that's one thing. It's a challenge, definitely, physically and mentally. But it's really going to help out in the long run. I'm looking forward to it. Any opportunities that come along within the theater, take it as much as you can. You need as much experience as you can, because it really broadens your horizons. You learn so much more, and the experience just, it's just, you really need it out there in the long run. And it's not only good just to get out there in the theater world and get known, but it really helps out just with communication with people and friends, and you get to, you get to relate to people a lot better, and you get to see different sides of, the society and stuff that you've never really seen, or different stories, or seeing things from different perspectives. So it really helps. And so I'd encourage other students that if they come to join the theater department, that definitely go for it and do as much as you can within it. Get as much experience as you can. I would expect just, it almost reminds me of a cartoon, or an animation cartoon. All the colors, and it's a very youthful production. Like it seems like children and stuff on stage in a way with the prince and all. And it's all this very nice family humor, a lot of fun, just good for everybody, little kids, adults, and all. And I told them to, I definitely expect just have a really good time, just to enjoy it. Don't try to be a huge critic about it or anything. Just sit back and enjoy the music and the action, everything that goes on. You'll have a good time.
This particular production is such a wonderful and beautiful and romantic farce. Yet on the other hand, compared to some other musicals even or other straight plays, the structure of it isn't quite as rigid and prescribed. So when you get the script of Once Upon a Mattress, you still have a lot of choices to make as far as what characters do we include, which ones do we not include, those kinds of choices. It's very freeing as a director. And on the other hand, as the director, you suddenly realize, wow, the script describes certain things that may or may not have to exactly happen as described, much more than many other scripts where just to follow it along is probably good advice. One of the things we're really proud about at Chadron is that the plays that we do are selected not by just the faculty, but by the students along with the faculty. And one of the things we try and remind students is that theater does so many different things, not the least of which is entertain. And certainly that's where Once Upon a Mattress comes in. It's fun, it's delightful, it's got beautiful music in the vein of Rodgers and Hammerstein, being written by Mary Rodgers, his daughter. And so theater also, besides entertaining and making it fun and being heartwarming, has to tackle social issues, and it has to tackle political issues, and it has to make a commentary on what our lives are like today. And we also remind them that the great plays have withstood the test of time. And so as a result, our season ends up being Once Upon a Mattress for family-oriented entertainment, The Rabbit Hole for taking a look at social commentary and how we are responsible for each other on this planet, and then to make a little fun of the way our lives might go based on technology, we are doing Sarah Ruhl's Dead Man's Cell Phone as our third show. And then the last show that we're doing is that kind of show where it's, what are some plays that have withstood the test of time? And so we've selected, with our students, for this particular year, William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. I think one of the wonderful things about this particular production is it truly asks you to bring all the skills that you might have. The dancing, the rhythmic movement that is required, the singing, and the acting while you do all of that, plus your comedic timing. And in this particular show, we'll be doing a couple of afternoon matinees for some younger audiences. Some actors don't feel that the younger audiences give them the same challenges that an adult audience does, and I feel the opposite. I feel if you can get a 10-year-old kid, if you can captivate them, hold their attention, make the story clear, make it move forward so that they are totally enthralled, the adults are a piece of cake. The adults are a gimme. I think one of the things that the audience will truly find delightful is, first of all, a familiar story, yet told in a radically different way. If they've never seen Once Upon a Mattress, they're gonna love the music. Some fabulous songs, and also a very farcical take on that old Hans Christian Andersen Princess in the Peace story. So while on the one hand, it might have happened as the fairy tale that we remember our perhaps mom or dad reading us to sleep with, this one says, yeah, but what if this princess were not of a particularly refined sort? And what if we had all these other peripheral characters? And what if the queen were not quite as kind and as accepting of who's going to marry my son as the fairy tale is, but rather more like what are moms usually like? And then on the other hand, we'll recognize and see all of these genuinely human things that we all do in situations like this, and yet on the other hand, in such a delightful and fun way that we'll be able to laugh at it and not take ourselves so seriously, which ultimately is comedy speaks just as loud about what's right with us and wrong with us as serious drama does, but it also lets us leave the theater going, you know, we shouldn't take ourselves quite so seriously.